Imagine for a moment that you are face to face with a genuine extraterrestrial, a not-of-this-world creature, at a time when the search for alien life is over because humankind has finally discovered it. After years, decades, and perhaps even centuries of searching in earnest, we've finally proven that we are not alone. In your mind's eye, what do you see? How do you picture this meeting that's taking place? And actually, are you really face to face with whatever it is you envision? Does its face bear any resemblance to your own? Or ultimately, would alien life take on an altogether different form? This is Unveiled, and today we're answering the extraordinary question, would aliens look like humans? Do you need the big questions answered? Are you constantly curious? Then why not subscribe to Unveiled for more clips like this one, and ring the bell for more thought-provoking content. For centuries, humans have been captivated, perhaps even obsessed, by the idea of extraterrestrial life. From ancient civilizations gazing at the stars to modern space exploration, the question of whether aliens exist and what they might look like if they do has continually spurred us. As such, the global cultural image of an alien has evolved significantly over the years, and in general, what we imagine has moved away from the traditional humanoid figures of classic science fiction towards a more diverse and scientifically informed expectation. In this video, we'll look at the historical fascination with alien life, explore the shift in our perceptions, and discuss various theories and studies that challenge the notion that extraterrestrials would ever resemble human beings. For some, the seeming possibility of life beyond our planet is deeply rooted in ancient times, and arguably in our development of stories based on gods, unknown forces of nature, and apparently spiritual events. From ancient myths and religious texts to early astronomy, humans have pondered the existence of beings from other worlds, largely in a bid to make sense of the unknown. But of course, in later years, and especially in the 19th and 20th centuries, the concept of an alien morphed from a hazy unknowableness into something that the overwhelming majority of scientists believe could, even should, exist. Now, the search for alien life has little to do with answering the unknown and everything to do with satisfying statistical probability. To modern minds, in a universe of perhaps infinite variation, it would seem as though something else must be out there. Nevertheless, our first representations of what an alien might look like were somewhat primitive, and the picture of generally humanoid extraterrestrials gained traction with the rise of science fiction, again in the 19th and 20th centuries. Early pioneering writers served to shape our mental image of what aliens might look like. But almost all of the examples available in the 18 and 1900s weren't that far removed from the form that our own species takes. Eyes, sometimes more than two, and often enlarged, but eyes all the same. A mouth or some kind of opening through which to communicate, usually front and center of the face. Limbs, again sometimes more than two arms and two legs that we're used to, but still carrying out effectively the same functions as our own do. Most of the earliest visualizations took on an invariably similar look. Today, that's changed, and any depiction of little green men or lanky grays with oversized heads now feels pretty dated. The fact is that as scientific understanding has improved, so too have the representations of what an alien might really be like. Working from a greater-than-ever knowledge of the conditions required for life to exist, scientists increasingly challenge the traditional, somewhat tired, anthropocentric ideas, and sometimes even the very fundamentals are called into question. For example, an increasing number propose that life elsewhere could exist based on elements other than carbon. While carbon is the undisputed building block for life on Earth, silicon has been considered in particular as a potential alternative. On Earth and in humans, carbon is so crucial and prevalent because it's an extremely versatile element. It is a defining feature of all of the most important things that make us, from DNA to sugar, protein to muscle. However, we know that although it's dominant here, it isn't necessarily the same everywhere else. And silicon is usually touted as a comparably effective base material that could be just as crucial to other alien instances of life. It then follows that life forms with a silicon-based biochemistry probably would have, entirely different physical structures and properties. Humanoid, they almost certainly are not. Elsewhere, and research on extremophiles, organisms that can thrive in the most extreme conditions on Earth, has further expanded our understanding of the potential for aliens. Increasingly, we must seriously consider that despite all we've come to expect of earthly life, living organisms could well exist in any number of environments that were previously thought inhospitable. These might include places with high radiation levels, extreme temperatures, or intense pressure. This line of thinking is in part supported by our growing understanding of what's possible within a star's habitable zone. We know that this is the region within which conditions might allow for liquid water, but we also know, thanks to growing research, that the surface conditions of worlds in a habitable zone are often very different to our own. It would appear then again that Earth's way is not the only way. Finally, and perhaps from a slightly more speculative point of view, could it be possible that alien life is simply coded differently at the base level, whatever that base level is? We know that life on Earth is based on DNA and RNA, but alternative biochemistries might exist, and some research therefore explores the possibility of extraterrestrial life using different genetic codes, which could, again probably should, lead to organisms with wholly different features distinct from anything found on Earth. Indeed, any and all of the above could combine in any number of ways to produce something that's entirely different from anything we might expect or recognize. And while we know that humans, as we are, have at least managed to eke out a living on this particular planet, and have at least managed to progress to this particular time and level, many have suggested that it's pure arrogance or ignorance to assume that anything else would take the same route. So let's head back to your imaginary meeting at the top of this video. True alien life stands before you, if it stands at all, and you have to try to make sense of what you see, if in fact you can see it. If it were silicon-based, then there's really no telling what it would look like exactly, although popular depictions tend toward it having an intricate geometric form, or else being a transparent jewel-like entity. If it were an extreme environment dweller, then it'll have to have adapted to survive whatever extremities it faces, such as the conditions inside a star, for example, which means it may have further evolved unique, heat-resistant, or pressure-tolerant features. And all of that before we've even considered the discrepancies that would occur on any creature from another planet simply due to changes in gravity or disparities in sunlight. Of course, given all that we've considered, it's also possible that what you'd be looking at from your perspective could also be nothing much at all. Life forms existing as gaseous entities, lacking a traditional solid or liquid makeup, may challenge our understanding of biology, but also might be common. On the face of it, these beings could exist inside the atmospheres of gas giants or nebulae, with their appearance defined by ever-changing patterns and colors. Whether or not a human could even truly grasp that such an alien were alive is another matter. It could be a similar case with alien colonies. As human beings, and although we do have societies and civilizations, we consider ourselves to be individual life forms. There is some argument that this wouldn't be the case with an advanced enough alien, which would more likely and efficiently function as a collective intelligence. Such colonies could naturally display intricate patterns, morphing shapes, and unique communication methods, but again, would a plain old human being ever really understand what it was that they were looking at? Add the potential for energy-based life into the equation, that is, life that transcends a physical body entirely, and the picture gets even more difficult to discern. Of course, until such time as alien life is discovered, predictions as to its appearance remain entirely speculative. But for now, what's clear is that while we might expect it to demonstrate at least some recognizable characteristics, it could also be entirely non-humanoid, and perhaps fundamentally different to any other life form we know of. The human form, far from being the pinnacle of evolution, may just be one of countless potential configurations in the vast tapestry of the cosmos. It might not even be a particularly good configuration. And ultimately, that's why aliens may look nothing like us at all. What do you think? Is there anything we missed? Let us know in the comments. Check out these other clips from Unveiled, and make sure you subscribe and ring the bell for our latest content.